Hello, my friends, and welcome back to a brand new Realm News episode. I am your host, the Dark Lord. The one who puts the real in realm and expands your mind one block at a time. And guess what? Realm News is officially 2 years old today. Yes, Groundhog's Day marks 2 years. Was the first time that I published the first episode, The Cleric's Cloak. If you want to get real technical, I believe it was January 8th was when I wrote that and recorded it. Well, I recorded and published, had it set to publish on Groundhog's Day for February 22nd, 3 weeks prior. Somewhere around, I think it was January 8th. It's in my journal somewhere. I have to dig back up. Anyways, I'm excited. I can hardly believe that this podcast is 2 years old. This is a milestone for podcasters, folks. It truly is. Most podcasts don't make it past 3 episodes, if you didn't know that, which is insane. And then they don't make it past 10. That's like the next hurdle. Then 20. And then it's like it goes up, but 100, going over 100, but 2 years, that's like something to be proud of. And I have each and every one of you to thank for it. Yes, each and one of you. It's because of you. Yes, you, the audience, who keeps me going. I make this show for you. Also because I love Minecraft. And I love writing, researching, and learning new things to pass on to you. So it's a win-win. I love that you support this show, because I would not have been doing this for 2 years if I just like making episodes of listening to me talk about Minecraft and relating it to real world knowledge. So let me just throw out a couple things, or a few things that we achieved in the past 2 years, folks. We have reached over 4,000 years across the globe in over 60 countries. We have achieved the top 10 chart on Good Pods for video game podcasts several times. The great Kristoffer Zetterstrand appeared on the show in year 1. Actually, he was like my 3rd guest on the show. Concordia University's Minecraft Bloc team from Montreal, Canada appeared on the show earlier this year. We had Jigarbov on the show, Randy Bishop, Mauve Garçon, Nightstake, Next, Jack, Michael TBH, 2 round tables, more to come, and many more guests to come, folks. I hope I didn't forget anybody that came onto the show this year. I can't forget, we had Neon Gaming also on the show. So I want to thank everybody there. If I'm forgetting anybody, I truly apologize. But we've had a lot of guests in the past 2 years, and I love it. And we're getting more people coming on. So I should also mention that we've produced 70 plus and going Realm News flashes that I put out on Tuesdays. So that to me is utterly incredible. And Realm News published its first novella, Torvengi in the Village of Alp, early this year. And now I present to you, for Realm News' 2nd anniversary, a brand new original story written by yours truly. Copperbot is the name of it. A sci-fi Minecraft-inspired story. I drew inspiration from the Minecraft Copper Golem. It was my muse. That's about the only thing that is Minecraft related to this story at all. My stories from now on, folks, just to let you know, are going to have a little thread just inspired from Minecraft. They may not have any elements of Minecraft whatsoever in them. Like my next one that I'm making, that will be produced after this, called The Employee, is about a miner. I got the idea of mining from Minecraft, like, you know, how we go down those caves. So I took the element of mining and I made it into a story. So that's what my stories are going to be like. So I hope you enjoy that type of material. This is not going to be an every week thing. I'm just going to do this every now and again because I'm branching out into fiction writing, and I started with Torvengi in the Village of Alp, and I'm addicted to writing now, and it's just been my, I want to get into that further, and so I'm going to start releasing more novellas and short stories and audiobooks, and I hope you guys appreciate that. Please write in and let me know. If you want me to just keep this Minecraft, like pure Minecraft related, like traditional, write in and let me know, and I will release my short stories some other way on maybe a separate podcast. So just let me know what you think. But I think you'll appreciate it. Anyways, the audiobook you will hear today is a little over 30 minutes long, so it's not like super long. Also, Torvengi the Wandering Trader makes a significant appearance in this short story. So if you like Torvengi the Wandering Trader from Torvengi in the Village of Alp, then you will get a kick out of this. And again, my another audiobook I will be releasing soon is called The Employee, so keep your eyes and ears out for that. I hope you enjoy Minecraft inspired stories, truly. Some of my short stories and audiobooks, like I said, are completely divorced almost entirely from Minecraft. You'll have to listening carefully to spot where I thread in Minecraft. It will be quite subtle. Today's Copperbot is, of course, about a robot that wakes up over a millennia later after being turned off. You will see how he reacts to his environment and loss of his master. I hope you all enjoy the story, and thank you again for listening to Realm News. I look forward to providing you all another year of Minecraft entertainment. Enough of me blathering. Let's start this audiobook, shall we? I present you Copperbot. Copperbot, written and narrated by Greg Howard, a Realm News publication. Chapter 1. Awake. Warm. I feel warm. This is a great feeling, I thought with curiosity. Mon Dieu. Am I on fire? I thought. At first, I could not see, but somehow my fusion pack obtained enough juice to power my circuitry, activating my CPU along with the ocular cameras. Battery level 90%. What a jolt! There wasn't much to see. Literally, it was pitch black. An occasional web of electricity would stretch across a huge swath of the sky, followed by a loud rumble. I switched over to night vision mode. Much better, I thought. I noticed that my head and one of my arms were the only things exposed to the stormy night air. Mud kept splashing up over my ocular lenses, splotches running down, obscuring the view. I looked at my right arm and inspected it. The arm looked intact. It was coated heavily in verdigris, but enough was burnt off that I was able to move it. I knew that the rain wasn't helping lube my wrist and elbow joints. However, it was nice to flex my fingers, and that is what I did for a good solid minute or two. I examined my situation a little more, and it appears that I am buried in the earth. I was trying to remember how I got in this predicament, but my hard drive was still warming up. I needed to investigate this further. I accessed the shutdown log review from the mainframe to see how long it has been since I was last in operation. At the same time I was accessing the shutdown log, I was scanning the surrounding landscape, assessing my situation. The mud splattering rain was not helping me analyze the surroundings, but from what I could gather, I was on a hill, near what appears to be a river, judging by the steady ambient sounds emitted in between the raindrops hitting the earth. There, suddenly, the shutdown log popped up, and I would have gasped if I had a mouth, as I saw how long it has been since I was last activated. 1,223 years ago. How is this possible? I asked myself. I performed a temporal gap analysis and cross-referenced that with the sleep state delta time contingency protocol to see if there were any glitches that would cause an inaccurate analysis. It took me a few seconds to confirm that the original data was correct, and I had been shut down for 1,223 years. I needed to know what I was doing then, where I am, and what to do now. I suppose the first order of business is to dig myself out of the dirt pile I am stuck in. I have one arm, and that is something, I thought. I started to scoop the dirt away from my face. The soft, loamy mud was easy to scrape away until I got to where my head meets my torso. And then the earth was a bit drier. Still, no problem. I continued to dig down my left shoulder, slowly exposing my left arm. I wanted to get that out so I could use the two hands to dig faster. Slowly but surely, the left arm was finally free. When I was able to yank it from the earth's last failing grip it had on it, I noticed that my hand was in the shape of a fist. The fist was completely frozen from oxidation. I continued to use my good hand and the balled up fist of a hand to dig myself out of the mound. Another flash of lightning in the distance lit up the night, exposing the ceiling of clouds above. I had dug down to my knees, almost free from this earthen prison. I started to yank and pull the legs up out of the mud. A sucking sound started to sputter with the right leg finally breaking free. That feels good to have mobility back in that limb, I thought. I then broke the left leg free and stood tall upon the hill. As soon as I looked upon the landscape in the stormy night, another flash broke the black. Suddenly, thermal overload overran my sensors from high voltage. I passed out. Chapter 2. Remembrance. A whirring sound along with a high-pitched tone was all I could hear over the cracking and sizzling sounds coming from my body. Every raindrop that hit my copper skin sizzled like grease on a frying pan before evaporating into a wisp of vapor. I could feel the drastic coolness of the rain meeting scalding metal. I cooled off fast and my CPU came back online suddenly and with restored knowledge. I felt a surge in my core firmware, and then old memory files flooded in faster than I could hardly process them. Suddenly, I could remember it all. The place I woke in the earthen hill, buried up to my neck, is, in fact, my home from over a millennium ago. I am a Copperbot 3200, a storage facilitating unit designed to organize anything, anywhere, from industrial facilities to mom-and-pop shops. Oh wow, I remember. I tried to yell through the intercom in my chest. Nothing came out. No matter, because with all the excitement of recovering my entire memory bank, I didn't care that I wasn't able to speak. I remember that I worked for a tinker named Mr. Woodford, a jovial man with a long gray handlebar mustache who always has a pipe hanging out of his mouth. His laugh is a thunderous bellow that can fill a room. I remember that he is a big man, but he has the most delicate hands. They are very nimble for a human. He is very kind to me and he treats me with respect and dignity. He isn't like other masters whom I've had in the past. I paused for a moment. Oh no, I had thought and paused again. If that pile of earth is, or was my home, and time has passed 1,223 years, then, oh, I thought to myself as I looked toward the hill. Mr. Woodford is dead then, I thought with a sense of disarray and sadness as my head dropped. I need to find Mr. Woodford, I thought with suddenness. I traipsed my way over to the hill. I decided to excavate it and also look for something to pry my left hand open in the process. Surely there are some tools still left behind, I thought. I should explain that at Omdi Industries, where I am created, they intentionally program us to have emotions and emotional attachments to our masters. This is so we do not harm our master or deviate away from our master. We only have positive emotions for our master. I probably should have mentioned that earlier. The night eventually turned into day, which was very nice. The storm passed and the clouds parted. The sun felt good on my metal body. I let the water dry off and out of my joints. I continued to dig and remove soil. I eventually scooped enough earth from the mound that it had nearly become flush with the ground. Then, suddenly, I hit something solid. The collision didn't reverberate like other rocks that I had previously clashed into while digging. No, this is not as dense as a rock, I thought, staring curiously at the exposed white object. I bent down with a creak and started to scrape gently with my fingers the edge of the object and remove the dirt from around it. It was a bone, from what I could tell, perhaps a forearm, but no doubt Mr. Woodford. I dug with greater speed and eventually came to the hand, those delicate fingers that used to be covered in pink flesh, now bone white. I would cry if I had the apparatus to do so. I was not designed to show emotion, however, I can sense it. No matter. I was now looking at my master's corpse, a pile of bones. But what is this? I thought as I noticed a long, thin, metallic object in Mr. Woodford's hand. It was a pick for carving into wood. It was a fine instrument that he often used to help create his toys and other inventions. I grabbed it and studied the fine instrument. It was indeed a work of art itself. How light, yet sturdy it was. It was made of fine steel, more than likely from the steel yard in the town a few miles down the road. Down the road, I said to myself with encouragement. Perhaps the town, which is called Thisker, would exist. I will go there as soon as I get the rest of Mr. Woodford dug up and properly buried, and I free my hand, I thought. I used the pick to nimbly dig into the crevices of my locked-up hand. I started with the wrist joint assembly. From there, I scraped out the green patina until I could turn it 360 degrees once again. It made a light grinding sound, but that is nothing a drop or two of oil can't fix once I get to Thisker. I proceeded to work on the smaller joint assemblies in the finger joints, making sure I didn't damage the tactile sensor array or any micro servos. After about 15 minutes, I was able to pry open the last digit. As soon as it opened, a piece of metal fell to the ground from my palm. I flexed my fingers on the newly free hand and bent down to pick up whatever it was that fell to the ground. It was a small piece of tin. So light, so thin, yet it looked brand new after the millennia of being protected within my balled-up fist. It had a white, bluish tinge to it. I flipped it over to the other side and saw writing inscribed in the metal. It read, Winston. I am Winston, I thought as loudly as possible. Remember, my intercom is still non-functional. I need to look at that later. I queued that in my memory for later recall. However, my memory banks must still be corrupt. I was going through some sort of cognitive cold startup that was causing progressive memory recall. In other words, my memories were slowly coming back in stages. I remember the 10 name tag now. Earlier that day in the morning, prior to organizing the third floor, Mr. Woodford had approached me and told me to stop what I was doing. So, I did as commanded and stood about face. He chuckled a bit and told me to sit on the special chair he had made for me on one of my birthdays a few years ago. I sat down. He then presented me with a beautiful maple wood box that had a bow around it. I remember the box had one word carved on the top of it. Freedom. What is this? I asked.
Well, that is what it says, Copperbot. It's your freedom. You've been in my stead for the past 20 years now. You have kept this old shop organized and highly functioning all these years, and I thought it was appropriate to set you free, my friend. You have done more than I have asked over the years, and I am becoming rather old,
he said, clearing his throat. He continued to say with concern,
I know what happens to old copper bots without masters. I shudder to think about you being lowered down by cables into a crucible for recycling. Copperbot, it is time for you to become your own person. The shop will get along just fine until I close the shop for good, you see.
He said kindly with a tear in his blue eyes. I don't understand, Master. I serve you, and only you. Copper bots do not become their own person. What am I to do, if not organize your tinker shop? I asked with increased volume. I continued to say, I do understand what happens to copperbots once masterless. This is part of the process, I said blankly, trying to understand this human's reasoning. Mr. Woodford took a couple of puffs off his pipe, then looked directly at me before saying,
I have never had a son. I had never married. I got caught up in all these gadgets over the years, lost in creating the next best toy or invention that would be used or played with in every household. But to my folly, I never realized what a hole of solitude I had dug myself into. You are the closest thing to a son I could ever hope for, my dear Copperbot,
he said, wiping his eyes.
You will find your way in this huge world. There are many places for you to go, and many people to meet who need your assistance. However, you can now earn a wage, live in a house, and be your own master. I know it's extremely unusual and unheard of, but I insist, my friend.
He wiped his face again, this time with a handkerchief.
It would make me happy to know in my last years that you are free, my son.
He said this now with a lower lip trembling and tears running down his cheeks. Okay, Master, I mean, Father, I replied back to him, hugging his leg.
Well, open it up. That's what presents are for.
he said, laughing, wiping his face. I opened the maple wood box by pulling the top off. The lid eased off with a small sucking sound, and as I peered inside of it, it was the very same piece of tin that I have in my hand now, 1,223 years later. And it was a name tag with the name Winston on it. With my freedom, he gave me a name. It was the best gift anyone or anything, especially a little old copper bot, could ever ask for. Standing there on that hill, name tag in hand, I put it on my chest. I pounded the intercom with my fist, took the pick, and dug the dust out of my portholes and let out a loud, "My name is Winston. I am my own master," I yelled as dust particles puffed out of the intercom. Chapter 3. Moving on. I continued to gingerly dig around the bones of Mr. Woodford, excavating him piece by piece. It was a task that I had never done for a master before. Actually, there are no protocols for such an incident. And an incident this was. I have scanned my memory bank 567 times to see if I had any recollection of what happened to Mr. Woodford, or myself for the matter, and no memories have resurged to answer this question. The last memory I had was on the 3rd floor organizing his shelves, cluttered with all sorts of gadgets, metals, gems, woodworkings, and other knickknacks that he had created or picked up over the years. I can't explain why I was on the 3rd floor with my name in hand. I am hoping that memory would come back any time now. Meanwhile, I was able to gather nearly every bone to Mr. Woodford, minus a few, such as the pisiform, lunate, a middle phalange to the left hand, things he wouldn't necessarily miss. I am guessing rodents or other animals had managed to pick up a piece or two after his demise. No matter, I had him all gathered and a hole prepared outside near a smaller hill adjacent to the home of Mr. Woodford. It was a pretty spot up on top of a grass-laden hill full of red poppies. The view overlooked a beautiful river. "I think Mr. Woodford would like to be buried here," I said aloud and confidently. I looked up at the sun and determined that it was 11 a.m. I placed Mr. Woodford's skeleton within the 6-foot deep hole, piece by piece in anatomical order. His head was the last part I put down before I got out of the hole and looked down upon Mr. Woodford for the last time. I then began the eulogy. Mechanical words started to pour out. "Mr. Woodford," I stopped, hesitant, then said, "Father, I know that I did not speak much in the 20 years of service I had with you, but I want to let you know that I will make you proud. You were the kindest human I have ever known, and that gives me hope that there are others out there just as kind as you. I will not let you down. I love you, Father." I then proceeded to cover the bones with the loamy earth, and after the hole was filled, I pegged a triangle on top of it to mark his grave. The triangle I never understood, but he used to pray to that shape around his neck, so I figured this was an appropriate symbol to mark his grave. As I tapped the marker into the soft soil, I heard a light clinking sound in the distance. It was metal on metal along with a whinnying, breathing sound. I looked down from the hill towards the east and saw 3 figures come in my direction. A mildly loud call was made from the stranger. "Ahoy, my friend! Ha ha! We are friendly. We are just heaving and hauling our wares, and we mean no harm." I looked up at the tall, tan, smiling man who was adorned in an outrageous array of colors. He was mostly enshrouded in an aqua blue robe, along with red, gold, and fine leather sandals adorned with beautiful shapes etched throughout the leather straps. "Ha ha! You admire my sandals, I see. These sandals have seen thousands upon thousands of miles, for my feet have carried them so. With so many miles come many, many tales. The lines you see in the leather are stories, my friend. Stories of stories from other stories. They are woven all throughout my body and clothing. I am, my friend, a story myself. They call me Torvengi Surefoot, the wandering trader. This is my family, Fritz and Sandy. Say hello to our new copper friends, Sandy and Fritz." He said this all with glee and a large toothy smile. The two llamas hawed a bit, making airy, whining type of noises through their nostrils. The creamy one spit a gob of saliva at my feet. I wasn't sure if that was a good sign or not. Torvengi then said, eyeing the cream-colored llama, "Don't mind Sandy. She's a wee bit... what's the word? Temperamental?" Sandy then spat a huge wad at Torvengi's feet. He made a quick, agile leap backward and let out a chuckle before saying, "So, do you have a name, my friend? Or should I proceed to call you Tin Man?" He said as he shot his head up toward the sky and showed all his teeth along with a bellowing laugh as his hands held his belly. I paused a moment, then said, "Yes, beg my pardon for not telling you earlier. It has been a day. My name, good sir, is, well, it's Winston." Torvengi popped a seed into his mouth and sucked on it, then said, "Winston, it is my unabashed pleasure to meet such a curious-looking creature such as yourself. You must beg my pardon, but I have never seen a creature like you, all made of copper. What are you doing up here anyways, good friend?" I looked toward the triangle grave marker and began to speak before stopping myself. I thought about Mr. Woodford and what he said about making my own way. "I just buried my father, good sir. As I said, it has been a day," I said as I glanced down at the mound of fresh, turned-over earth. "Oh, my friend, that saddens me deeply." He let out a sigh. He then went on to say, as he opened up his robe, or whatever humans call his attire, and said, "My condolences. Please take this. It is oil. I believe you could use some of that, and no need for payment. I would ask for no such thing from someone who just buried their father," he said sullenly, looking at his llamas. I said, "May I ask where you are going, good sir?" Torvengi looked around as if there was another person there beside the four of us, then replied, "Who, me? I'm going to the town of Hiska, just yonder," he said as he pointed westward. "Hiska? Did that used to be called Fisker by chance, sir?" I asked with more speed to my voice. "Please, friend, call me Torvengi. I am no sir, and yes indeed. Fisker is what Hiska was once called in the days of old. How do you know about this ancient appellation?" he asked with intense curiosity. "Let's just say that I have quite a bit of knowledge about the history around this region. I am very curious to go there, sir. I mean, Torvengi, I said, head down bashfully. He said long and loud with his gloved hand on his chin. A wandering trader only travels with his llamas. It is the code. However, for a trade, I can make this happen. What do you have to trade, my friend? He said with a keen look in his emerald green eyes. I have nothing, sir. Nothing at all. Except for a small tool pick and my abilities to organize and locate anything, I said, saddened while holding up the tool pick. Calm down, my friend. I hear you. And I understand you. You think that the great Torvengi, who stands before you today, was born in a mountain spring? No, my friend. I was orphaned as a toddler in the desert of Sathanos. I know your pain. I tell you what, my friend. You keep that pick. I do not only trade in physical wares, but also in knowledge. I love stories. So, I offer you a trade. I will escort you to Hiska. And on the way there, you tell me everything you know about this region. I would love to add it to my histories. Do you agree with this proposal, my friend? He asked with earnestness. I didn't have to process that proposal at all. It was a great deal. Yes, I take that deal, my friend, I said as joyfully, stomping my feet. Great. This pleases me so, my friend. You can ride on top of Sandy. She seems to have liked you, he said as he grabbed me and hoisted me on top of her. The sun was high in the air, leaning more toward the western horizon where we were headed. If I could smile, I would. I looked back at the mound behind me where the triangle was standing erect. I will make you proud, father, I said at low volume. What's that you say, friend? Torvengi said with his ear bent towards me. Never mind, I thought you said something. Anyways, where was I? Oh, yes. Sandy and Fritz were young llama broodlings when I took them up into the Aries Mountains. Torvengi spoke as they walked on along the trail. I sat on Sandy, thinking about Mr. Woodford and everything he had done for me, as Torvengi's voice filled the background of our journey to Hiska. I didn't know what lay ahead on the trail, but I was looking forward to finding out. Fini. Author's note. Copperbot was created as a Christmas present for my mom. The inspiration struck after Minecraft released the Copper Age update, and something about the little copper golem captivated me. Honestly, I'm not entirely sure why I chose it as my muse, but I suspect it has a lot to do with watching the TV series adaptation of Murderbot. There's just something fascinating about a robot with inner dialogue, and that sparked my desire to craft a story in a similar vein. Since then, I've grown incredibly fond of Winston, my creation, and I'm excited to expand his universe through a series of short stories, novellas, novels, you name it. I truly hope you'll stay tuned for more Copperbot adventures. Thank you for taking the time to read about this journey, and I can't wait to share more stories with you in the future. Hey, Realm News fans, it's your host, the Dark Lord, the one who puts the real in Realm and expands your mind one block at a time. I am here to tell you that your support means everything. Spread the word by telling friends, liking, and commenting on Spotify or Good Pods. Find me on X, Blue Sky, Reddit, or via email at bio.link/realm news. For more content, join my Patreon at the copper tier for early episodes, bonus content, and newsletters. Find out more at bio.link/realm news. No pressure though. Just keep listening, liking, and sharing. That's more than enough. Happy crafting, and see you at the next Realm News.